I'm pansexual and I'm also a demigirl, so my pronouns are she, they.
What are your thoughts on J.K. Rowling?
Who? I don't understand of politician. If he is a politician, he's a politician?
A woman is a feeling. It's how someone feels on the inside.
Do you have a message for J.K. Rowling?
Are you posting this to be like aggressive?
I think it's weird that they had to go to all that effort to just say a man's a man and a woman's a woman. Like what the
As a gay man, you cannot live peacefully in Nigeria. You cannot live comfortable in Nigeria.
Gay rights were won on the basis of sex, right?
Right, exactly.
And now that the terms man and woman are sort of being redefined, what does that mean for how homosexuality is acknowledged?
We've come a long way, and with that comes we have to make updates.
They're so happy to just sell homosexuality down the river. Like, I can't get my head around that. Hi everyone, I am here at London Pride on the 5th of July. It's super busy. The atmosphere is pretty good actually. It's kind of electrifying. So I thought, okay, I'll go along, see if I can chat to some people and see if they're aware of all these issues, of all the sex versus gender stuff, and particularly if they're aware of the Supreme Court ruling, or if they're just there to party, what their views are. It's very trans heavy today. There are so many trans flags everywhere. And I also want to know, is this a safe space for gays like me who completely reject all that gender nonsense? So, we'll find out. And I made a sign for today. I don't know how it's going to go down here. Or if people even know what it's about. But we'll find out. I'm just wearing it over my shoulder now. We'll see if anybody comes up and asks a question. That would be nice. But I'll see if I can interview some people. Oh, Dumbo's arrived. Don't know who his mate is. What does Pride mean to you?
It means acceptance of everyone, no matter sexuality, race, gender. It is, everyone comes in together as a whole for each other and to have each other's backs, and that is really important in today's day and age, and that's what it means to me, and that's why I'm here.
Is this your first Pride, or have you been before?
This is my first Pride, yes.
Oh, it is?
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Thought we'd go big with London Pride, because why not, yeah.
And yourself?
Yeah, first one, same. I haven't been to one before because I just haven't been able to. And yeah, with Pride, it is just enjoying being around other people who just want to be themselves and just have a nice time. You get to know more people, who are like you or in different, sexualities, gender. It's just nice.
Right. My first Pride was 97.
Really? Oh, wow.
I was just thinking that's closer to the first ever Pride than to today's Pride.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow.
And where sort of in the LGBTQI plus do you see yourself?
So I'm pansexual and I'm also a demigirl, so my pronouns are she, they. So.
And demigirl means you need to have more of a connection with someone before anything happens.
It. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
And yourself?
I'm a demi guy.
She thinks she's a guy. What's next? Testosterone in a double mastectomy?
So, same but just opposite. With like pansexual bi, yes, right. With like pansexual bi, I'm not too sure yet, but I just celebrate, and enjoy everyone else's company. So. Unsure, but I just kind of go along with it.
Well, you're both really young looking, so you got plenty of time to figure it out. Anyway, have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
That was the Dykes on bikes getting quite noisy in the background, of course waving the trans flag. See, this is what I think Pride should be about, highlighting places where homosexuality is still illegal, like in Nigeria. This man here could be sentenced to prison or even death by stoning under Sharia law just for loving another man. and she would have him believe that she's some kind of guy.
Tell me about the situation in Nigeria.
Oh, it's very critical. It's very critical. As a gay man, you cannot live peacefully in Nigeria. You cannot live comfortable in Nigeria. The police after you, every member of your family after you, they disown you.
Scrape the law. They scrape the law against LGBTI.
Against
the government of Nigeria to scrape it.
Okay?
Let there be freedom.
Let there be freedom for the gay man. We exist everywhere in the world. Okay? Yes. Thank you.
And then something weird happened. This man comes up to me and says, "Can I take a picture of your sign?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So he does, and then I ask him, "Are you happy with the ruling?" And he's like, "What ruling?" And I'm like, "The Supreme Court." Like, have you read the sign? And he's like, "Oh, that was terrible." And I ask, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, you know, anti-trans this, anti-trans that." And I'm like, "Well, actually, it's a really good ruling for the gays, you know, because it unequivocally protects our rights under the Equality Act." And he's like, "Really? I didn't know that." So then we had a chat about that, and he goes, "Okay, so it's a bit more nuanced." And I'm like, "Mm-hmm." So we had a bit more of a chat about it, and then he took this little video. And it just made me think, so many people just don't have a clue. Which is why I was there with that sign, you know, to have these conversations. Anyways, at least that's one person who's a bit more clued up now. And then I saw the Quakers go by, and of course there was a big trans flag right in the middle. Now, who is holding this flag? This is a bloke called Abigail. I first met him last year at Brighton Pride when I was stood on the pavement with this sign: "Puberty blockers are anti-gay." He was part of the parade, but he made a point of coming up to me and going, "Shame on you! Shame on you!" Mate, I don't think advocating for drugging kids out of puberty is a good look.
Okay, we have a dinosaur. But I don't think it's a turf one. No, it's a trans dinosaur. Here we go, protect the dolls. But what about the bricks?
Well, speak of the devil.
It is absolutely mental. Oh, furries. A friend of mine said that I should take a whistle with me, so if I get into trouble, I can blow my whistle. There's way too many whistles. Nobody would know why I'd be whistling. So many young people, especially with the trans flag, so many young ones. You can't spell trains without trans. That's London, Transport for London. Right, there was a woman walking down the street with a Protect Trans Kids t-shirt. So I just asked her, "Can I take some video of you walking down the street?" And she said yes. And then she said, "I love your sign." And I'm like, did she read the sign? And I just had like a couple of other people ask, "Oh, can I take a picture of your sign?" I think they just see a sign with gold and rainbow flowers, and they're like, "Oh, yay, let's take a picture." And like, do they even know what it's? Maybe they think it says, "Fuck you, Supreme Court," instead of "Thank you, Supreme Court." It's very odd. Very odd. How are you doing?
I'm very well. How about you?
Well, the atmosphere is buzzing here. I feel fantastic. Is this your first Pride? I don't think so.
No. I've been coming for a while now, yeah.
And do you dress like this every day? Is this just like casual for you?
I wake up like that. I'm joking. Yeah, I come just for Pride. Yeah.
Do you perform as a drag queen?
Not at all. Just in my bedroom. And in Pride, of course.
How long did it take you to get ready?
About 4 hours for the makeup. And the costume, jewelry, about 2 days to make all.
And how do you feel about Pride today?
I don't know, I love the vibe of Pride. Everybody's very happy. Even the people claiming for Jesus, they're happy. They're not too angry. I don't know, it's a good vibe in there, yeah.
There's a bit of a conflict between sex and gender. It's been in the news a lot. Politicians are talking about a lot. Do you feel that is sort of affecting the community?
I think so. We always affect in a way. Everybody have your opinions and stuff, but I feel like you need to be whatever you are. So all the genders is welcome if you make people happy.
What are your thoughts on J.K. Rowling?
Who? I'm a drag queen. I don't understand of politician. If he's a politician, he's a politician.
J.K. Rowling wrote the Harry Potter novels.
Okay. Oh yeah, about the trans on the TikTok and stuff. I think people is alright to have their opinions, but for her to put out the way she did is a bit silly in a way. It's a bit offensive because everybody knows her. Now you told Harry Potter. I'm not good with names, but everybody knows her. So the opinion she put out can affect loads of people who don't understand what's going on. So I think sometimes people just need to keep the opinions for themselves and respect each other. That's the best thing we can do.
So shut up, J.K. Rowling.
That's it. That's it.
Well, that's just lovely, isn't it? Here's another so-called trans child, another saying trans women are women, a drag queen decked out in trans colors, an NHS float leading with trans colors, and the t-shirt, if you are trans and reading this, I love you and so do all my mates, and a bloke with magical lady feels. You can never tell. And some more of this.
Right, so here's a lady called Sabrina, and I just heard her talking about the Supreme Court ruling. I thought, oh, how come you were having that conversation kind of thing? What got you into it?
So I was just explaining to one of my friends that how I was really proud that Pride this year have not allowed any of the policymakers to march in the parade because of the terrible ruling that has come down or terrible bit of guidance, I should say, to speak correctly, that has come down from the court system, and I think we should totally be supporting our trans brothers and sisters and non-binary people, and not allowing policymakers to march in parades and in fact protest, because this is a protest, if they are not behind the equality for everyone within that section of society. So, or LGBT specifically, QIA rights.
Right. So the ruling was about the Equality Act and the meaning of sex and what woman means for the purpose of the Equality Act, right?
So talking about kind of what it means to be a woman, but I think I don't pretend to be kind of super knowledgeable about it, but my understanding it was not done in line with the trans community. And again, from an outsider point of view, what I saw was a white older male, and someone who looked to be assigned male at birth, making a ruling on something that wasn't relevant to their life.
Okay, so she's making this all about the privileged white man, even though there were 5 judges involved in the case, 3 men, 2 women, and the decision was unanimous. And this is not about something being relevant to their personal lives, it's about them providing legal analysis at the highest level.
And I would have liked to have seen much more inclusion from the trans community, from the queer community, from the people that ruling actually affects.
Right. I was in the Supreme Court on the day.
Were you? Oh wow, how was that?
It's really serious, right? It's a very old building, so it feels very sort of grand and serious. And then when the judges come in, you have to stand up, and you're not allowed to whoop or cheer or smile or also cry or whatever, because you have to be really well behaved because it's also serious. So we couldn't really express ourselves until we came out of the Supreme Court. But one thing that struck me was, and I'm not sure if people are picking up on this, that basically the ruling saying that for the purposes of the Equality Act, it's all about sex. But gender reassignment is also in the Equality Act as a protected characteristic. So people are still protected. Even if, say, someone is seen to be a woman when, they were born male, they're still protected if they are discriminated on that basis. And trans men in particular, if they would be classed as men, they would lose maternity and pregnancy rates. So I was like, oh, this is a bit more complicated.
Yeah, and I mean, that's huge, isn't it? Because essentially it's everyone's right to be able to live life how they want to live life in a way that is freeing and feels authentic to them. So my view is we should be supporting whatever that authenticity looks like to those individuals, rather than specifically trying to assign these very difficult, complex terminology or kind of trying to describe it, rather than allowing each person to live life in the way that they feel is right for them.
There were a couple of lesbian groups that were part of they were called the Lesbian Interveners. Did you hear about them?
I don't know a lot about them because they don't necessarily I would describe myself as a queer person. I would see myself as pansexual, so I wouldn't ascribe myself to alongside that specific group. So I have heard of them, but yeah, they don't align with my politics, so I wouldn't necessarily stand for them.
What does queer mean to you?
Queer means inclusive. It means, and again, it's just my view, but it means inclusive of everyone's journey outside the normative. So anyone along that LGBTQIA+, and to be inclusive of everyone's experience. And just because that may not be my experience doesn't mean that it's not someone else's experience, and to be able to incorporate that into something beautiful.
So if you could say to Labour and the Supreme Court, this is what I think a woman is, what would your answer be? Like just from your personal perspective.
A woman is a feeling, and I don't think that's down to a specific person. I think if someone feels like a woman, that's down to them. If someone may feel like a man, and I don't think that's necessarily representative on the outside, it's how someone feels on the inside. And I don't think anyone should be shamed for how they feel on the inside. I think it should be celebrated, and it's beautiful, and we should be able, if someone feels that their insides and outsides do not match, they should be able to come together in that sense of wholeness, if that feels right for them.
Thank you very much, and have a fantastic day.
Thank you. Enjoy your Pride.
And you. Ciao. Thank you so much for that. I found myself a man. And quite a man. What's your name?
I'm Bernardo Luvo.
What does Pride mean to you?
I mean, Pride means coming together as a community. I think we more than ever need every person to understand that as much as I love the afters and they are so fun, you have to show up. They need you here, they need you present. Come here first, then go party later. It's really important. There's so much going on in America, in UK, in Europe. We have to come together as a community.
What are the biggest challenges at the moment, you think?
I think there's a disconnect with people thinking that somebody else is going to handle it. And there's no one else. It's really us in charge of how we represent our community at large, globally. And if we don't show up, no one else is coming to save the day. We have to come do it. And I think as long as the trans community is being attacked and any part of the community, we need to all come together and do much better.
How do you feel that the trans community is being attacked?
Well, I just actually spoke with a trans person not long ago, 2 weeks ago, and she said that she went to a gay bar here in the UK, in Soho, and there were some people that were just making fun of her. She felt really attacked. Then she was with a couple other trans women and they had to leave. So this is happening like right now. We just don't see it. I think gay men have been, out and proud for so long. I don't know. I don't think we get targeted the same way, but they are experiencing a lot more. But yes, in the States as well, there's just like a huge disconnect, not understanding that we are one big community, and I feel like people feel like it's not their job or their duty, so yeah.
There seem to be quite a few tensions though between, say, the LGBs and the Ts sometimes. Like some people are saying LGB drop the T and others are no LGB without the T.
Yeah.
Like What do we do with that?
Well, I think more than LGBTQ+, it needs to be humans, and we happened, just like the Jewish people are really good, the Jewish community, at supporting each other. We have to really support everyone, obviously, all humans, but at least start with our own community, right? So until we are much better, there's no place for a break. So yeah, but I'm so glad to be here and experiencing this. So good. Yes.
In the UK, we had a really big ruling in April from the Supreme Court here that said that for the Equality Act, which is our Anti-Discrimination Act, woman means a biological woman, man means biological man, and sex means sex.
Yes.
How do you feel about that ruling?
Well,
is it something that you know about? Or?
Well, I know enough because we're experiencing the same thing in America. I think it has to do with a lack of understanding and education. So, yes, I think it's a lack of understanding and communication. And it's really not understanding that how someone wants to show up is their own decision. And they are in charge of that, right? At the same time, I think we have to be respectful and not take advantage of that and push people to boundaries. I see people that are, pushing it too far. We're asking for their pronouns and things like that. I think we can't afford any of that. We have to be conscientious and ask for people to really, support us, but we can't be demanding. We have to come with a place of heart, with a place of love, with a place of connection,
Now, a lot of the gay rights were won on the basis of sex, right?
Right, exactly.
And now that the terms man and woman are sort of being redefined, what does that mean for how homosexuality is acknowledged?
Well, I think we've come a long way, and with that comes we have to make updates. We have to understand that everybody wants to live their journey in a very unique way. But I think the biggest way to really support any of this, is to come from a place of understanding. Yeah,
I think it's time to dance, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think so. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So much. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Appreciate it.
And whoa. After we finished our little chat, he asked me for my Instagram. So he got his phone out, loaded Instagram, and then gave me the phone so I could put my name into the search field. So I did, and I was like, uh-oh. But my page didn't come up. It looked like he was on Wi-Fi. The connection was bad, so it didn't come up. Anyway, I just put my name in, and then we said our goodbyes. Oh, so nice to meet you, blah, 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 blah. When he sees my page, I don't think he'll be following me. But what a thing to say. We need to update homosexuality. Can you believe that? And he didn't say anything specific. It's all just about, oh, yay, inclusivity, yay, we all stand together, yay, not acknowledging any of the blatant conflicts that are happening. Update homosexuality. No. Anyways, it's quite manic in town, and Trafalgar Square is buzzing because there's there's a stage and performances. So I'm just gonna go into the park, St. James Park, have a sandwich, and then I'm gonna go into Soho and see if I can interview some people there. Right, I'm in Soho now. It's a bit mental. I don't think this is a good place to interview people. I'm gonna look for somewhere quieter. Oh my God. What does pride mean to you?
We are proud of ourselves, how we look, how we present, what we do, and who we love. That's it.
Do you have a message for J.K. Rowling?
Fuck off, bitch.
So, you've got a shirt that says, fuck!
Why? Because it's a word that's been reclaimed and I rhinestoned it by hand. It's a bit of fun.
It's a bit very offensive.
Right. Who was it first aimed at?
Huh?
Who was the word originally aimed at?
Gay men.
Yeah. And now you say it's been reclaimed in a positive way?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
it's been reclaimed in a positive way. People can use it. It's pretty much across the board used at gay people. So now you just use it to show that you're proud.
Here come the mastectomy scars. And outside Clone Zone, there were a bunch of models doing some promotion. One of them is Chio, a woman who claims to be a gay man, boasts about having a wet-ass pussy, how she's never taken a shot of tea in her life, and says that gay men love pussy. I mean, I love this one, but that's where I draw the line. Now, as I'm filming, this guy spotted me and does a double take and then looks at me with disgust. His name is Topher Taylor. He, him. And he is a writer, sex educator, and develops sex toys, I think. And completely in with all the trend stuff. You know, it's all G with the T. And he came up to ask this question.
Are you posting this to be like aggressive?
He said, I know who you are. Are you gonna post this to antagonize straight people to be homophobic? I know who you are. Leave us alone. I'm like, you're the one who came up to me. And then we had a bit of a stare off. Sorry, it's mannequin. And then he's like, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna make people be homophobic. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. I'm like, all right, happy Pride, bye. Just had a chat with the people from the legal trans clinic. They have a stand here. So I asked them about what they think about the Supreme Court ruling. They think it's terrible. And trans people marginalized, blah, 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 all the usual. So then I said that I was in the Supreme Court when the ruling was handed down, and that to me it means a lot because it protects my rights as a gay man on the basis of sex. And then she got a bit icy. Was a woman that I was talking to, a young woman. And we talked about the TV show I Kissed a Boy. So I said there's a trans man on it. Trans man. And I said, you know, I consider her to be female. So there's a female on a gay male dating show. And she just went, oh dear. And I said, you know, homosexuality is about same-sex attraction. It can't be both same-sex attraction and so-called gender identity attraction. And she's like, yeah, I think it can be. I think it can be. It's like, how do these people like they're so willing, they're so happy to just sell homosexuality down the river. Like, I can't get my head around that.
And then, finally, I met a kindred spirit.
Hey!
How's your day going so far?
Amazing. It's been amazing, to be honest. It's like, fuck, I don't even know what to say. It's been less hostile than I thought it would be. But I think we calmed down. There's like less of a political kind of emphasis on it. Do you know what I mean? So it's been good. It's been good. What about yours?
It's been pretty manic, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So,
and I came here today specifically to talk to people about the Supreme Court ruling.
Yeah.
And to see what their take on it is.
Well, obviously, common sense has to fucking rule. I think it's weird that they had to go to all that effort to just say a man's a man and a woman's a woman. Like what the fuck? Do you know what I mean?
It is such a relief to speak to you right now.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? They have all that money and all that sense. It's like they know what a man is and a woman is, but it's like they're all so scared to like raise their head above the parapet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, you're the first person I'm speaking to who hasn't said that the ruling was devastating or awful.
There's a few of these shanties going on, so you know, mate. Ask me in the morning, mate. No, I'm joking. I can't believe I've seen you. I love you.
Oh,
I love you. You're amazing. You've done so much for the gay community. Thank you. Sorry,
Yeah, you don't need to do it. It'll pick up the sound.
Thank you. I love you.
Thank you, and have a fab rest of the day.
I will do. Sorry, I'm terrible on camera.
Oh, that was such a tonic. Just to have someone that you're on the same page with. And then I bumped into somebody that I knew from years ago, 2006, 2007. So we're just like, hey, how are you? And having a chat. He's like, what are you up to these days? So I just said, well, you know, I make these videos about the conflict between sex and gender. And I was so relieved that he's also on the same page. So we had a good old chat about that. He said it's all bollocks, it's just men and women. He'd heard about the Supreme Court ruling, completely agrees with it. He's like, you can identify as anything you want, but it doesn't make you that thing. He was there with a friend who kind of looked at us a bit like, what's going on? So I don't quite know where he stood. Then I asked him after a while, I'm like, what are your views on this? And he's like, well, you know, it's complicated, but I think I'll agree with you, blah, blah, blah. And then as we're talking, and obviously this wasn't on camera, because I did ask him, do you want to go on camera? Because this guy's a real character. I thought he'd be great on camera. But he's like, no way, because of where he works. And he's like, at work, he can't air these views, even in 2025, despite the four-steps ruling and all the other gender-critical wins at the tribunal. He's like, it's all about bring your whole self to work. And he's like, mate, if everybody does that, it's just going to be full-on anarchy. It was really nice to see him, actually. It's been ages since we last caught up. But as we're talking, then a man comes up and says, hey, are you that guy from YouTube? I love your stuff, keep doing what you're doing. So there seems to have been a turning of the tide on Old Compton Street. And that makes me feel better. Like the whole day started to feel really weird. It's just so full on trans today, and all these really young kids with trans flags wrapped around them, and everybody going trans women at women, and what? So that's a good note to end on, I think. So I'm gonna leave it there, and I shall see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, leave a comment. If you don't know what to say, just say, yay, Mr. Gay. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.
As I was about to leave Soho, I saw this man with an Israeli pride flag, which I thought was quite brave, so I stopped to have a chat with him.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Hello.
How was your day going?
Very good. It was a very good party. Very good vibes. Amazing, fantastic feedback by the people.
Okay.
Absolutely amazing.
What is your message with this flag?
The message with the flag is that to show my support for, of course, for the gay community, LGBT, and to show the people that Israel is the only country in the Middle East where you can be gay. You've got the same rights as a gay person. You can be a woman with the same rights as a man. You can be Arab, you've got the same rights as a Jewish person. People don't know anything about equality. I'm a very liberal person, so I love when people can live their own life. And people, unfortunately, if you look at Gaza, when Hamas was still ruling it, there's a very, very sad, I hope I'm not talking too much, a sad story about one guy. He was in the so-called Hamas army. They said he was having an affair with a man. They hang him upside down for 4 hours.
You know that's
tortured.
Bullshit,
yeah, tortured
that's
him.
Not
yeah,
true, darling.
Tortured him to death.
Bullshit.
Tortured him to
that
death.
They have more rights there
it's completely
than they do.
Yeah.
You're completely
But first, don't interrupt this rude. And then he was tortured to death, and they threw the body, his dead body, in front of his family's home, and they stuck a note with a knife in his body. Islam doesn't tolerate gays or something like that. You know, I don't know every single word.
Wow.
So we need to support free people, freedom of speech. People can make love with whoever they want. That is a very basic thing. That's why I'm standing here.
And what has the response been like? Because at a lot of these these events, that I see a lot of Palestinian flags, but I don't see many Israeli flags.
Of course, I'm not Jewish, by the way. The Jewish community in London is very, very small. The problem sometimes is, but I have to accept it, is when there's a protest, the Jewish people don't come out because it's Saturday. So it's when they do the religious.
The real Jewish people that come out,
can you just? Yeah, you've got no idea. Can you just? You're rude because you're interrupting other people. It's not Hamas here. Then they don't come out because they follow their religion. So I'm not religious, but okay, I respect this. And of course, you've got much more people on the other side. But the main thing is not how many people you are in a protest. The people is how important. What is important is that you've got people like this, normal people who would never dare to go on a protest, supporting the Israel cause, supporting freedom, supporting free rights for gays, supporting equal rights for women. These are the majority of British people who are tolerant, liberal people like me. They don't want to have a Hamas fascist regime. The people just don't want to say it. They're scared. imagine you sit with this on a London tube, how many reactions I get. But I tell you, most of them are positive. I had a row yesterday with 5 people in the central line. I won the battle because they're not very bright, to be honest, very often, unfortunately. Sorry for being arrogant. But the majority of people in London who walk past here are on our side. Sorry for the very long answer.
And earlier you just had two young women from Israel come up to you?
There's quite a lot of people. It's a very small country, but you keep coming, seeing people from Israel walking past, and of course support. They're very happy because you've got all these hate marches in London, and they're happy to be supported. So that is of course also very nice for us, to get the love back.
Right.
Awesome. Okay.
Oh, she's gone. She's
The lady, she was upset that she left.
Okay. I wanted to ask her a question, but anyways, thank you so much. Right, I wasn't quite done yet. So after talking to the guy with the Israeli pride flag, then there was a guy in a skirt and a crop top, stood on the corner, kind of watching me and the other guy talking. And then we got into a conversation, and and then somebody else got involved, and we talked about puberty blockers, and he's like, they're reversible. God, what else? Sorry, I'm knackered now. Basically, we very much disagreed on stuff, but it was civil enough. And then another guy joined in, and there was his girlfriend, I think, and she really wasn't impressed with anything that I had to say. So she just stood there looking really miserable in the corner, wanting to just move. And I did say to the guy, look, your friend wants to move on, so we don't have to have this conversation now. But we ended up standing there for about half an hour. And God, it was just all the usual, puberty blockers are reversible. I'm like, not really. The Supreme Court ruling, that's what I talked about. And then one guy just went, oh, you haven't really understood it and you're misrepresenting it. It's like, no matter what you say, they're just like, blah, 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 blah. But the guy in the skirt, he was quite funny, because every time he asked me a question, if I then answered, he went like this, like in almost a comical way, which was hilarious. So he said I was conflating sex and gender, and I'm like, well, actually no, I see them as completely separate things. Oh, it's just all the usual blah blah blah. Detransition rate, he said, it's really low, and detransition rates only become significant if it's 51% that regrets it. And I was like, oh, come on, mate. We don't know the half of it. Anyways, it's just all, it's like these conversations are useless, to be honest. And so towards the end, he started saying, oh, I think this is a bad faith conversation. Because I said, because I refer to a trans man as she, her, and a woman. And when he said trans women, I said he, him, blah, blah, blah. The whole thing actually kicked off about single-sex spaces. He's like, what right do women lose? Because he said, if I go to a Wetherspoons, I have a choice. I can go to the men's or to the ladies. And I was like, well, what makes you think you have a choice? Like, you only have a choice. You only think you have a choice if you completely disregard women's rights. And he's like, well, what women's rights? I'm like, well, to single-sex spaces for one. He's like, well, what is that? And what does it matter if I go in? And I'm like, well, it means it's no longer a single-sex space. It's like how can you get that through to someone if that's where they get stuck? Anyway, but at least it was somewhat civil. But we both, we realized we're not going to get anywhere. And his friend was particularly, oh, I'm confused. What did the Supreme Court say? And I said, well, this is what they said. He's like, that's not what they said. I'm like, that's literally what they said. Look it up, watch the video. Duh. Anyways, I had to read more. I had to talk to more trans people. I had to understand more. And this is one thing that actually really pisses me off. That these conversations always end on a note of them saying, you have to educate yourself, basically. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. And he said he wanted to leave. And end the conversation. I said, well, let's end it then. Let's just end it, You have a good weekend and ciao. He's like, yeah, but I don't want to leave it like this. I'm like, but that's one of the things that we have to accept, that we're not gonna agree on stuff, and sometimes this is how these conversations end. And he wasn't happy about that. And he's like, well, if there's one thing that you can take away from this, then think about how you're conflating sex and gender. And I'm like, why is this always about what I have to take away? What are you going to take away from this? And then we said our goodbyes. So I put out my hand to shake their hands, and like the one guy, he was very hesitant about shaking my hand, but he did it. His girlfriend wasn't too happy about it either, but she did, and so did this guy. Anyways, right, so that was an eventful day at Pride, but it was fine, really. It's just a bit busy. Maybe not the best place to have these kind of conversations, but it was really nice to meet some people that at least are on the same page, among all those who aren't. And some people who, well, that one guy who recognized me from my videos, so that's nice that he came up to me in a place like this. Anyways, that's really the end now. So, see you in the next one. Ciao.
Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my PayPal and Patreon supporters. Because of you, I can make videos like this. Special shout out to my big spenders. Helper Open, Mama Turf and the Turventines, me Julie, The Lovely Mary, Julia, Dusty, Joodles, Leffy, Dorothy, Wildfire, Esther, and Martha. Thank you.
Let there be freedom for the gay man. We exist everywhere in the world. Okay? Yes. Thank you.